I threw a party for my 10-year-old son and invited my family. Nobody came. A week later, Mom sent an invite. My niece's sweet 16, $2,100 per person. Venmo me. Not even a sorry. So I sent $1 with a note. Congratulations. I changed the locks. Block number. 2 days later, police showed up at my door. My name's Evan. I'm 33. Single dad. I fix networks for a living and make lists for fun. I know where every dollar goes. I can tell you the price of a gallon of milk in 3 stores and which one restocks the 12-pack of juice boxes on Tuesdays. My son, Leo, is 10, loves Lego, hates olives, and thinks I'm a wizard because I can untangle cords without swearing. I live in a small rental house with a lean backyard and a grill that I rescued from the curb. My family lives 20 minutes away, and in my head that always meant we were close. It didn't mean that. The Saturday of Leo's birthday started simple. Blue streamers. A Costco sheet cake with Leo Level 10 written in pixel font. I'd rented one of those inflatable soccer goals and set out folding chairs I borrowed from a neighbor. 6 of his classmates came. Our street smelled like sunscreen and charcoal. I kept checking my phone. Mom had said, "We'll be there. Wouldn't miss it." My sister, Courtney. Of course. Aunt Coco's bringing party favors. My brother, Nate. We'll roll through after the gym. I lined up little water bottles on the porch rail and taped a trash bag to the fence so the yard wouldn't look like a landfill. Every 20 minutes, I checked the family chat. Nothing. When the pizza arrived, I told the driver, "Could you wait a second?" I thought maybe a line of cars would pull up and I'd need to add one more large pepperoni. He looked over my shoulder at the tiny crowd and said, "You're good." 2 o'clock turned to 3. The sun moved. Kids kicked off their shoes and took turns with the goal. The neighbor across the street carried over an extra cooler. She said, "Full house?" and I smiled like my face was made of wood. At 3:11 p.m., my phone buzzed. "Don't be dramatic," my mother wrote. "It's just a kid's party. Just a kid's party." I read it twice because my brain rejected it the first time. Not running late. Not got stuck. Not happy birthday, baby. Just that line like a slap. I stood next to a bowl of orange slices, and the words crawled right under my skin and sat there. Leo jogged over, cheeks red, hair stuck to his forehead. "Dad, can we cut the cake? Can we sing?" "Of course," I said. "Gather everybody." We sang. He blew out the candles in one breath because he'd been practicing. He grinned at me with frosting on his lip, and I clapped like a seal. Then I stepped inside to the kitchen to rinse the knife and breathe where nobody could see me. The screen door squeaked. Behind me, the group chat bubble popped up again with dots blinking like a heartbeat. A new message from Courtney appeared. "We'll catch the next one. Today's insane." Then a photo posted to her story hit my lock screen. Brunch. Mimosas. A caption, "Self-Care Sunday, on a Saturday, with my people." My mother was in the corner of the picture, sunglasses on, holding a flute of champagne. Nate's arm, the tattoo I helped pay for, was around their chairs. I stood there with a wet knife in my hand and a cake behind me and a 10-year-old in the yard who still believed adults said what they meant. The house smelled like sugar and dish soap. Somebody outside yelled "Goal," and a cheer went up. I put the knife down and wiped my hands on a towel. I walked back to the yard and handed out plates, and I didn't say one word about the empty chairs. Not one. When the last kid left, Leo and I sat in the quiet and built the spaceship he'd unwrapped. He didn't ask about Grandma or Aunt Coco or Uncle Nate. Maybe he didn't want to. Maybe he already knew. At 8:04 p.m., after he fell asleep on the couch with a slice of pizza in his hand like a tiny king, my phone pinged again. Mom, this time with a voice message, sharper, careless. "Don't make a big deal, Evan. He's 10. He'll barely remember." I stared at the ceiling and felt something in me go cold and flat. A new shape. Edges. I didn't write back. I started counting the chairs to return and the cans to recycle. I scraped frosting into the trash. I folded the banner into a shoebox with the leftover candles. I put everything where it belonged. That's what I do. And then I put my phone face down on the counter because if I read one more sentence from them, I was going to say something I couldn't put back in the box. I've always been the fixer. The one who knew the Wi-Fi password and the tax deadline. The one who remembers everyone's favorite side dish. I was 21 when Dad walked out. Mom's words to me in the driveway were, "You're the man now." It wasn't a pep talk. It was a job assignment. When Courtney started her lash studio, I built the website and paid the first 6 months of hosting. "You'll get it back when I'm profitable," she said, breezy, like profit was a weather pattern. When Nate got a DUI at 25, I took a day off work to sit with him at court. I'm the one who drove mom to urgent care that winter she had the flu and wouldn't stop trying to cook anyway. I'm the one who Venmo'd Nate's rent, just this once, 3 separate, just this once months. Every time, it came with a chorus. Mom, family helps family. Courtney, you're doing amazing, sweetie. To herself in the mirror. To me it was, can you spot me till Friday? Nate, you know I'll pay you back. He never did. He'd buy new rims though, so at least the lie had good traction. The day Leo was born, I made a promise to him and to myself. He would never sit on a plastic chair at a party and wonder if his people cared. He would have cake even when money was tight. He would have apology texts when people messed up. He would have adults who tried. Money was tight a lot. Childcare is a second rent. Health insurance is a third. I still made it work. Over time, side gigs, selling my old guitar to cover the dentist. When he outgrew his cleats mid-season, I found a pair at a thrift store and cleaned them with a toothbrush until they gleamed. Meanwhile, my family's group chat looked like a travel blog. Wine tastings, silent retreats that were somehow very loud on Instagram. Courtney's soft life era. Nate's grind set. With a leased truck, he took pictures with more than he drove. When I asked mom once if she wanted to do a weekly dinner with us, she said, "Sweetie, my calendar is full. Next month." Next month never arrived. But my phone did light up on payday. Little green bubbles. Quick favor. Emergency. Don't tell anyone I asked. Last fall, Courtney booked a girls' trip to Tulum and called me at 11 p.m. the night before. My airline card got declined. Can you fix it? I'll pay you back Monday. Monday came and went. When I brought it up, she sighed. Don't be petty, Evan. Money comes and goes. Memories are forever. In December, mom sent me a spreadsheet like a ransom note. Holiday gifts plan. Names, items, price columns, color coding. On the right, in bold, we should split equally. Equal meant me, because neither of them offered. I bought Leo a winter coat and a book. I bought mom the mixer she'd been talking about since spring. I gave Courtney a gift card to a supply store. Nate got new trainers. My gift was their silence at dinner when I asked if anyone could bring dessert next time. It added up, and not just in my bank app. It added up in my chest. The math of being the responsible one is that you become their plan, and they don't even see it. 2 days after Leo's party, I woke up to a new message in the family chat. All caps, exclamation marks, glitter emojis. From mom. Very important. RSVP by Wednesday. My niece's sweet 16, $2,100 per person. Venmo me. No good morning. No, how was the party? Just the world's most unhinged wedding tier price tag slapped onto a teenager's birthday with the urgency of a fire drill. Attached, a PDF with a photo of my cousin in a tiara, a ballroom with orchids cascading from the ceiling, a menu that read like a cruise ship brochure. Caviar bar, ice sculpture, interactive gelato artist. I stared at the number like it would blink into something sane. $2,100 per person. And then this line from mom. We'll need Evan to cover grandma's spot too. She's on a fixed income. There it was. The assumption like a reflex. My name is a wallet. No mention of Leo. No, sorry we missed him. Not even a meme. Just an invoice I never agreed to. 5 minutes later, Courtney chimed in. We're all in, OFC. Coco can't do less than premium. Also, can we do a group gift? Evan, can you coordinate? You're a spreadsheet guy. Nate. Yo, do they have an open bar? If so, totally worth it. Evan, you got me and Jess, right? I set down my coffee and felt it burn anyway. I typed no, then deleted it. Not because I didn't mean it, but because I needed to be careful. Words skim on the surface with them. They don't sink in unless you tie them to something heavy. I clicked on the PDF again, and my eye caught the sponsor page at the end. There, in tasteful script, under gold patrons, was my full name. In honor of family. I hadn't given $1. I hadn't been asked. Courtney had submitted it. I recognized the photo she used. It was stolen from my LinkedIn. My stomach did a slow, stubborn roll. I scrolled back to Saturday's messages to see if I'd missed something. Maybe there was a "so sorry" buried under a meme. There wasn't. Just Courtney's brunch shot and mom's voice note. The one where she said it was just a kid's party. Another text popped in. Mom. Also, I talked to the venue. They need the deposit by Friday. I told them you'd handle it since you're the most organized. The deposit. For a teenager's party that cost more than my car. Assigned to me like an errand. I picked up my phone to call her, then put it down. I didn't trust my voice to come out soft enough to be heard. That evening, while Leo did homework at the table and kicked his feet, I printed the sponsor page and set it beside my grocery list. 2 columns. One for what I do, one for what they ask. I started writing. Soccer fees, mine. Court filing fee for Nate's license reinstatement, mine. Website hosting, mine. Costco cake, mine. $2,100 per person, theirs. Deposit, theirs. It's just a kid's party, theirs. I looked at the paper until the ink felt dry enough to pick up. The next morning, Mom sent a follow-up. Evan, you're quiet. Don't be difficult. Your cousin is only 16 once. Everything inside me that had melted a little for years started to cool and harden. Not anger like fire. Anger like ice. Clear. Solid. Deciding. There's always a small moment before the big one. For me, it was grabbing my keyring and noticing how my house key was still the old brass one. Mom had a copy. Courtney had borrowed it last month for an errand and never returned it. I looked at that key and realized my boundaries were made of soft metal too. That afternoon, I stopped by the hardware store. It happened in the family chat because that's where they live. I waited for a time when they like to pile on. Late lunch, when everyone posts photos and comments at the same time. 1:17 p.m., the bubbles all at once. Courtney, a boomerang of iced coffee. Nate, a gym mirror selfie. Mom, a forwarded prayer with glitter. I took a picture of the backyard from Saturday. The banner still taped to the fence. The empty folding chairs in a neat row like a sermon nobody came to. The cake box with the corner missing where we cut it down and wrapped slices in foil for our freezer. I wrote, "This was Leo's party. You said you'd come." I let it sit. Then the replies came in exactly like I knew they would. Courtney, why are stuff here? Text me. Mom, don't guilt us, Evan. We have lives. You know Saturdays are hard. Nate, bro, don't be a martyr. Kids don't care. I posted a screenshot from 2 weeks ago. Mom's will be there. Then another of Courtney's, Aunt Coco's bringing party favors. Then the brunch picture with their faces in the corner and the caption, with my people. No commentary, just the visuals. Facts have their own gravity. Silence. Then Mom again. Enough. We're focusing on the Sweet 16 now. I sent the link. The deposit is due Friday. Be an adult. I could feel my pulse in my cheekbones. I typed slow. I am being an adult. I am Leo's dad. Another pause. Courtney answered with the text equivalent of a hair flip. Don't make everything about your kid. I stared at those words until they blurred. Then I wrote, you didn't come to the birthday of your own nephew/grandson. A week later, you sent me a bill for $2,100 per person for a teenager I see twice a year. You put my name as a sponsor without asking. You told a venue I'd pay a deposit. You said I was difficult when I didn't answer fast enough. Here's my answer. No. I hit send. Before they could swarm, I opened Venmo, found Mom, and sent $1. The note, congratulations. That was it. No paragraph. $1. One sentence. A mirror held up to the absurd. Then I changed the locks. The hardware store guy had already cut the keys. It took 10 minutes. The deadbolt turned smooth for the first time in years. When the new knob clicked shut, I felt a small click in my chest too, like a safe door closing on something valuable. I went through my phone and blocked numbers. Not forever, not out of cruelty, but because I knew what was coming. The flood. The, how dare you? And after everything we've done, and you're tearing the family apart. I needed quiet to hold the line. So I held it. At dinner, Leo asked for more broccoli and told me a joke about a banana in a library. He didn't know his dad had just flipped a switch that would change our lives. Maybe he didn't need to know yet. What he needed was a dad who didn't flinch. By 8 p.m., the messages were bouncing off the wall I'd built. A last one landed before the block. Mom, you will regret this. Don't forget who raised you. I set my phone face down and took out the trash. The next day, Courtney posted a story, a glitter countdown sticker for the Sweet 16. 10 days. Gold patrons, we see you. My name glowed under it. The comments cheered. So generous. Family goals. I pulled up the venue page and sent a formal email. Remove my name from all materials immediately. I did not authorize sponsorship. I attached screenshots. Receipts. I CC'd a person with manager under their signature. Then I sent Mom and Courtney the same email from a new address they didn't have, just so they'd read it through corporate fear. I slept hard for the first time in a long time. The kind of sleep that doesn't listen for footsteps. 2 days later, at 7:42 a.m., there was a knock at the door. Not casual. Firm. I looked through the peephole and saw 2 officers. Morning. We're responding to a call, the taller officer said. He looked like a man who had seen a lot of dumb domestic storms. What kind of call? I kept my voice even. Leo was still in pajamas, watching a cartoon with half an eye and half an ear on the door. Family member reported concerns. Said you were making threats. Said you had their property. Asked for a welfare check for a minor at this address. There it was. 3 birds with 1 stone. Paint me unstable, accuse me of theft, and weaponize concern for my own child. Efficient. Come in, I said, opening the door enough to show a clean living room, a kid on the couch, a bowl of cereal. We're fine. The officer stepped inside and did the polite scan people do when they don't want to look like they're scanning. The shorter one nodded at Leo. Hey, buddy. Leo waved with his spoon. Hi. Can we talk in the kitchen? I asked. We moved a few feet. I kept the doorway in my peripheral vision. Years of being the responsible one makes you host even when you're being inspected. This is about my mother and my sister, I said. They didn't come to my son's birthday. They asked me to pay thousands for a cousin's party. I said no. I changed my locks. They don't like that word. The taller one covered a twitch of a smile. That tracks. They also put my name as a sponsor for the event without consent. I emailed the venue to remove it. I have screenshots. I slid my phone across the counter with the folder open. Photos. Chats. The Venmo dollar with the congratulations note. The venue email. The sponsor page. The officer scrolled. Evidence stacks well when you live inside receipts. Any weapons in the house? He asked, because he had to ask it. Only butter knives, I said. And these Lego swords. He smirked. Any court orders? Custody stuff? No. Leo's with me. His mom isn't in the picture. We're okay. He glanced toward the living room. You're okay, buddy? Leo gave a solemn thumbs up. Property. The shorter one added, glancing at his notes. I blinked. What property? He read. Caller stated he was holding a family heirloom necklace and wouldn't return it. His eyebrows ticked and I saw it land for him too, the nonsense of it. The only necklaces in this house are made of macaroni, I said. If she means the spare house key, I changed the locks yesterday. I can give you the old one if that makes this cleaner. We all looked at the key on the counter like it was a prop in a bad play. The officers stepped to the side, exchanged a look, then squared back to me. Here's the deal, the taller one said. We've seen this a lot. Family gets used to a thing, money, access, free labor. Someone changes the terms. Panic. They call us. We make sure nobody's in danger. Then we go write a report that says, no danger. That would be great, I said, and felt my shoulders drop an inch. Do you want to log anything on your side? The shorter one asked. Yes. I pulled up the email to the venue and my written request to remove my name. I also want something on record that they put my name down for a financial commitment without my consent and that I've asked them in writing to stop. Good, he said. Paper trails help. Keep saving everything. If anyone shows up here and won't leave, call us. Don't engage. They left me a card and walked out into the daylight. I stood at the door with that feeling you get after a flu breaks, weak and clear at the same time. 10 minutes later, my new email pinged. The venue's manager replied, "We have removed your name from all printed and digital materials. We apologize for the oversight." I exhaled. One thread cut clean. At noon, my aunt, Mom's older sister who floats in and out like a reasonable ghost, texted from an unknown number. I heard what happened. I'm sorry. They're furious. Courtney's screaming about a ruined vision. Your mother is calling you ungrateful because she can't call you something worse. For what it's worth, I think you did the right thing. I didn't do anything. I typed. I stopped doing things. She sent a sad smile emoji, the only time I've liked one. The next 48 hours were a study in how a system tries to reboot. Courtney posted a long caption about toxic energy and people who can't be happy for others. She didn't use my name. She didn't need to. Her friends piled in with hearts and, "You're a queen." The comments smelled like hairspray and denial. Nate texted from a new number. "Jesus, man, Mom's crying. Can you just pay the deposit and we'll square up after? We're family." I blocked it. Mom left a voicemail on the landline I never use. "This is your mother. You're not well. Family doesn't do this. You embarrassed us. You embarrassed me." She inhaled sharply. "The police? Really?" Her voice did that thing where it shakes when it's angry but wants to sound hurt. I held the phone away from my ear like it was hot. Then came the other side. Quiet messages from cousins I barely talked to. I saw the price. Are they serious? "I'm sorry about Leo. That was awful. If you need extra chairs next year, we'll bring some." And the neighbor who'd loaned me the cooler knocked with a Tupperware of brownies. "You fought the right fight," she said, like we were comrades. Maybe we were. That week, my house got lighter. Not because the furniture changed, but because the air did. No waiting for a key to turn in the lock that I didn't invite. No jump whenever the phone buzzed. Even the fridge sounded different, like it had room to hum. Leo noticed the quiet in his own way. He asked, Are we mad at Grandma? I turned off the sink and dried my hands. We're not mad, I said carefully. We're disappointed. And we're taking a break. Like time out. Kind of. Except this is for grown-ups who forgot how to be kind. He nodded like that made sense. Kids get it faster than adults. 2 days before the Sweet 16, Mom tried a new tactic, the olive branch made of lead. She sent a mass text labeled apology. It wasn't an apology. It was a press release. Family is complicated, she wrote. Sometimes schedules clash. We love Leo. We will make it up to him. The Sweet 16 is important because of business connections. This is an investment. Please support. Also, Evan has been under stress, so let's not push him. Thank you. Investments. Business connections. My kid as an afterthought behind a fake apology. I read it once and put my phone down. At 5 p.m., the venue called my new email address again. Hi, Mr. Brooks. The manager said brisk. We received a call from your mother stating you had recommitted to your sponsorship and would be paying the remaining balance. I wanted to verify before proceeding. She lied, I said. Do not put my name anywhere. If she says my name again, send me the recording. A click of a keyboard. Understood. The night of the Sweet 16, I took Leo to the park. We shot free throws until the sky turned orange. His laugh ricocheted off the backboard, and I thought about how cheap joy is until someone tries to invoice it. We got milkshakes on the way home. He lined up his action figures on the coffee table, and I let him watch a late movie. I didn't check my phone for a play-by-play of a party I would never see. I didn't want to know what centerpieces looked like when they were paid for with someone else's guilt. Sometime after 11, a final text slid through from Aunt Nora. They seated Grandma next to a fountain with dry ice and strobe lights. She said she couldn't see her food. Your sister spent half the night yelling at the florist, the DJ, the waiters. There was a moment when the bill came and everyone stared at each other. No one made eye contact with your mother. I'm home now. I just wanted you to know you missed nothing. I set the phone on the table and watched my son fall asleep with chocolate on his lip. I wiped it away with my thumb and felt something open in my chest that wasn't anger. Space. In the quiet week that followed, my life rearranged itself the way a room does after you move a couch and realize it never belonged where it was. I told my boss I couldn't cover extra weekends for a while. He said, good, go be a dad. I put a sticky note on the fridge that said soccer camp scholarship deadline and actually applied on time. I made a Google Drive called Receipts/Boundaries, and whenever a thought tried to argue with me, you're being harsh. You'll regret this. I dropped another screenshot into the folder and the thought fell silent. On Thursday, a card came in the mail with kid handwriting. Dear Leo, happy birthday. Sorry we couldn't come. My mom said we had to go to a different party. I wanted the cake with the pixels. From Emma, neighbor. There were $2 taped inside. He grinned like he'd found treasure. I took a picture of him holding it and sent it to nobody but my own future self.